You reach for the shaker without a second thought. It's always just there. So here's the real question. What did ancient humans do before salt existed? Salt was never invented. The mystery is how bodies got what they can't live without. Your body cannot function without sodium. This isn't about flavor. It's pure survival. Sodium carries the electrical signals that fire every nerve and muscle you own. Run too low and your heart stops beating. Your brain goes silent. But here's the catch. You leak sodium every day through sweat, tears, and urine. Early humans had a leak they had to refill, with no shaker anywhere. To find their solution, we rewind millions of years before humans ever walked. Our earliest ancestors evolved from creatures that lived deep in the salty ocean. The blood in your veins is shockingly close in salinity to prehistoric seawater. When life crawled onto land, it carried a tiny piece of that ocean inside. So that craving for salt, it's not a habit, it's a memory written into biology. But land is dry and mostly salt-free. That's the original supply crisis. Enter Bolt, your guide, holding a modern shaker in a world that has none. Let's drop into the diet of the earliest ancestors. Where's their sodium hiding? Clue 1 lands here. The earliest hominins mostly ate leaves, roots, and fruit, pure plants. Here's the problem. Plants are notoriously poor in sodium. A dead end. The mystery only deepens. So how did plant-eating ancestors possibly scrape together enough salt to stay alive? Big question. The answer? Their bodies became extreme misers, hoarding every last trace of precious sodium. Kidneys learned a brilliant trick, reabsorbing sodium so efficiently that almost none escaped through urine. A hormone named aldosterone flipped on like an emergency switch, screaming, "Save every grain of salt." But hoarding alone couldn't win. No matter how careful, they still needed an outside source. So they followed the oldest trick on Earth. They watched the animals and copied them. Deer, elephants, cattle, they trek miles across the land to reach natural salt licks in rock. What are these rocks? Mineral deposits, where ancient evaporated seas left their salt behind, frozen in stone. Ancient humans found those same rocks, and they licked, scraped, and pried the crystals loose. Picture it. A thirsty, exhausted human scraping bright white crystals from a rock beside the herd. But here's the catch. Salt licks were rare and often far away. You couldn't always reach one. So humans found a genius backup, one hidden cleverly inside the animals themselves. Everything changed the moment our ancestors started eating meat. A whole new door swung open. Animal blood, organs, and flesh, naturally loaded with sodium. A salty jackpot hiding in plain sight. One fresh kill handed over the sodium of many long days scraping bare rock. Hunters prized dripping blood and slippery organs long before they ever cared about lean muscle. Even now, certain herding peoples still drink warm blood straight from living cattle to survive. Quietly, meat cracked the sodium problem that leaves and roots could never crack. But a strange twist followed. With steady sodium in meat, the hunt for salt faded away. It worked beautifully. Until humans did the single most dangerous thing they would ever attempt. They invented farming, planting fields, and filling their plates once more with grains and vegetables. Suddenly, with far less meat, the old sodium shortage came roaring straight back. Farming humans grew sick, weak, and desperate for any dependable source of salt. That desperation pushed humans, for the very first time, to actively harvest salt themselves. They boiled seawater over roaring fires in clay pots until only white crystals remained. Deeper still, they dug salt from underground mines and traded it like buried treasure. Salt grew so precious that Roman soldiers received part of their pay in it. Our very word salary traces straight back to the Latin term for salt. Step way back now and look at the entire sweep across millions of years. Before harvesting, they inherited the ocean in their blood, hoarded sodium, licked mineral rock, ate salt-rich flesh. They never truly lived without salt. They just found it in wilder, bloodier places. The salt lick and the fresh kill were humanity's original salt shakers. Simple, brutal. That craving you feel for salty chips? It's the same ancient ocean quietly calling. Bolt's shiny modern salt shaker is just the newest chapter of a very old story. Here's the twist nobody expects. Today we have the opposite problem. Far too much salt. Our thrifty bodies were built for scarcity. They were never designed for this salty flood. So next time you reach for the shaker, remember, it took ancestors 1,000,000 years to fill it.